Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Chachodash. Double honor to the apostles, elders, and bishops. Great millstone, Shalom to you, brothers, pushing his truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. And just real quick, I want to do like a small part two, really short, a part two to the video I uploaded about the the damn Christian that was saying there is no elect, right? He said there is no elect, right? And if you haven't seen that video, you should check it out. So I just want to read this right here to further really, bring the point home about, he said there is no elect, and the scriptures say otherwise, right? So I'm going to read this Matthew 24, and we're going to close out. It says, immediately after the tribulation, after those days, shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give yeah, I'm just gonna read 20. Yeah, I was gonna read this part. I was gonna read up a little bit, but no, we're gonna get right here. It says, and the moon shall not give her light. It says the sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light. It says, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. It says, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds, which is what the chariots, right, of heaven, with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other, right? And that's from all around the earth, north, east, south, west, north, east, south, and west, all over the earth, man. From the four winds, his elect is going to be gathered, right? Through the Lord and the angels. You see, so what is this man talking about? There is no elect. You can't prove at any point in time that there is no elect. You can't prove using the scriptures that there is no elect. You see? Even when you read the scriptures of old, there were elect men at that particular times. You see? When destruction and stuff was happening, Noah, his wife, his son's wives, time of that, Lot was not Lot of the elect at that time, and just things like that. It's just like, how can you sit there and say, when the Lord has time and time again delivered men from tribulations that you read from the scriptures, the time of destruction, especially Noah, and the time of the whole everybody died besides his wife and his son's wives. And Noah was a part of that. Noah was that elect man of that time. What are you talking about? There is no elect. It don't even make sense. You can't go into the scriptures and prove that there is no elect. It just says right here. You see, and he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet. It says, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So what are you talking about? That's the elect. Right, and then when we read up, the whole thing is about the elect, right? And I read that 22 in the other thing, but I'm gonna get it again in another video. But I'm gonna get it again, right? We're gonna start at 21. This is Matthew 24 and 21. It says, for then should be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved. It says, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Not all the Israelites, for the elect's sakes, because the Lord is coming back to get his men, right? Everybody's not of the elect, right? Even though the Israelites are a chosen people, there is a chosen out of the chosen, which is who? The elect. The people that follow the Lord. Why is the Lord coming back to people that in all times of their lives that they've been on here, only thing you did none was mock, laugh, scorn, come against, and part of the people that was mocking the Lord, spitting on them, punching them, slapping them. People was doing all type of things. Why is he coming back to get these people? No, you people are going to face. You people are going to be on the other side of the totem pole. You're going to be getting the wrath of the Lord. Do you see? You honestly think the people at the time that he was on the scene, where they was laughing, mocking, and doing all those things, you honestly think he's coming back to get you? No, man, because you've been doing the same exact thing since he was on the scene. He was always coming against the Lord. He was always coming against the prophets. He was always coming against the ministry. He was always coming against the men. You see, you've been doing the same thing over and over again. Why? That doesn't change now. You're back doing the same thing. You're mocking. You're making your videos on the internet. You're scoffing. You know, you think you have the truth. You think you know the way. You trust in Esau and his technology and his government and all that stuff. No, man. It's not happening. You people are going to die. All right? And this verse 24, and we're going to close out. It says, For there shall arise false anointeds and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they should deceive the very elect. And there again, it's talking about the elect. Do you see? Because these people, these 2/3 of the people that's not of the elect, they're going to get deceived by these things. They're going to be following the false prophets, right? But that goes to show you how powerful that the delusions, you know, that's going to come in these times from the false, you know, from the false prophets and all the other people, right? Because it goes to show you, it says if it were possible, they should deceive even the very elect. They should deceive the very elect. If it was possible, the elect would even be deceived. That goes to show you that the Lord has a special protecting, a special veil over his men. You see, that so they don't fall into the temptation, that they follow, you know, the right doctrine, the right truth, the right men that has been set up. You're right, to lead the sheep to the right path, man. You see, that's how powerful it is. There it goes to show you the Lord is only dealing with a certain group of people. A certain group of men, man. It goes to show you. That goes to show you with that scripture right there. You see? So that's it. That Christian, that man had no clue what he was talking about. Zero. So, like I said, it was meant to be super short. I just wanted to touch on that as I was reading Matthew. You know, I was reading Matthew, and I read that, and it popped in my mind. I was like, oh, let me go do a little small part 2 to this, because I didn't bring this out in the first video, so just wanted to do a small part 2. So